We have our second semi-final right here. It is colorful in the yellow in the bottom left of Last Refuge. And we got FoCuS in the upper right playing as the red orc.
Yeah, and we know what to expect out of this matchup nowadays. It's a lot of the same build order-wise. It's Keeper against Blade Master a lot of the time with mass Ancient of War units. Shadowhunter second, level 3 Serpent Wards. Lots of Grunts and Shaman to counter that style. But guess what? As I say that, I click on the altar of Colorful and there is a Demon Hunter on the way. So he's trying to do something almost completely out of the ordinary. Well, I feel like we don't really see the Demon very often these days against Night Elf, but it's his favorite hero. He's extremely good at it. Does that mean he's gonna go Talents? I don't know yet, but he's playing differently than what I expected.
Was about to say, Todd, this is gonna be a little bit of an old school flavor. Demon Hunter first into Talents. Colorful, really one of the very, very few players who still does this. And especially on this map, this can be really powerful. This is then gonna be a slower game with a lot of teching, of course. The talent tech takes a lot of time. Gonna be Tri-Hero, gonna be tier 3, obviously. Not really expansion focused. And speaking of focus, I wonder how he's gonna react to this and if he expected this. Is the TC still the answer like back in the old days, or can the Shadowhunter carry this as well? This is far, far away from the usual meta in this matchup.
Yeah, I don't think we see TC second anymore, like ever. You just have to go Shadowhunter second. And I mean, he's not even sure it's going to be Talents, right? Like, it could be Bears. Like, what does Colorful love? He loves Demon Hunter and he loves Bears. Yes, he was very good with Talents in the past, but there's been a couple changes with the price and all of this. So it's very different compared to how it used to be, where once upon a time, it was the standard. That's just what you had to do. Demon Hunter, Beastmaster, you know, try and cancel the Lodge, which back then, that's where you were making Spirit Walkers. And now, I guess like scouting is going to be so key. That peon that's on the other side of the map is so important for FoCuS on the high ground right now. Like when Night Elf finally reaches tier 2, that's when you want to scout. You want to see if there is a Hunter Soul or not. That's going to tell you what tech the opponent's going for, and then you can choose how you're going to react to it yourself.
Okay, so far the Blade Master doesn't really have too much progress, but of course since there's no Keeper, he can still use the Grunts early game and catch up in tech a little bit, or in creeping a little bit. Demon Hunter, if I look at this base or at the Night Elf in general, this is about to be a wall off, I guess, with a shop in between, and he's halfway to the tech. There's no Hunter Soul. This very, very much looks like talent build to me.
I'm surprised that there was a word used like this from FoCuS. It was a little overeager to drop this in front of the opponent. It makes a very distinct sound if you're in range of the hero dropping down that sentry ward. So he just counter-walled himself and easily got rid of the opponents. And now if FoCuS does it, then Colorful will have a choice between... Oh, actually, he does it in front of him. So it's really a race to try and snipe the opponent's wards, which I think FoCuS will win this time. But I was going to say there is the opportunity to either use Revelation or use the next ward. An Archer getting caught in a crossfire here. But the ward is already gone. So well done. So now that's full vision denied.
Are we playing Dota here, man? This is a lot of de-warding and warding going on. Pretty good support players, I guess. We know, at least from Colorful, that he played a bit of Dota alongside 120. FoCuS probably.
I don't know if Anti-Mage and Juggernaut would count as support guys trying to ward and de-ward like this.
That is true, I guess. We got a Raider Walker build, apparently, with a TC.
Oh, he's using Revelation? He sniped the sentry wall again. That's why I think that Colorful should have used Revelation instead of showing where he put the ward. Because then he still would have had the ward for the center, which can be really key in having extra vision. But you were right about the Torrent Chieftain. He's fully read into the fact that it's Talon, and it's an old school game.
It's a super old school game. Like, usually when we see talents on this map, a grunt goes down, by the way. When we see this, we still oftentimes have a Keeper opening. This is as old school as it gets. This feels like 2004 to me.
Yeah, those were crazy times. Kind of repetitive with the meta, but
I bet.
I thought it was the same now with the different meta, but guess what? We're getting a bit of a throwback. He could block the Blade a little bit. Blade trying to get a snipe on the Enchant of War. He's gonna get the experience. Very nicely done here.
Block?
With the last hit, but a Quilbis getting a bit of a block here, as Blade will be able to get out of there. And now it's time to start leveling the Torrent Chieftain. Usually, Orcs had really figured out how to play against this style. You want to cut Grunts early, go into more Raiders for hit and run potential, and Spirit Walkers. You'll take that expansion early so that you can outmass the opponent, and Shockwave level 2 is going to be key. But FoCuS right now is playing very aggressive instead of creeping.
What's he doing with his TC? Like, it's aura first aggression. His heroes are both level 1. He just wants to stop the progress of Night Elves. I'm not too sure if that's the right thing. I mean, Night Elf, they don't really rely on the heroes in this matchup. It's really a lot is about the talents. Strong heroes are kind of a good bonus, nice to have, but I think the one mandatory level is level 3 on the demon, and that's probably what FoCuS is trying to prevent here.
The problem of this kind of strategy is that you might be really rusty against it because you haven't played against this in a long time, so you're gonna make mistakes that you usually wouldn't make against something that's more current with the meta. So yeah, I'm a little bit skeptical of FoCuS's level of aggression here. He's trying to steal his camp away around the expansion of Colorful. It's a big power spike when you get that first Raider, that first Walker, because, you know, you have Ensnare available. You also are going to have Spirit Link, so if you fight, you should be able to do really well. But not rushing that Torrent Chieftain to level 3 here. This could ultimately be a big mistake for him.
Yeah, for some orcs, we have to raise the question, do they even know how to throw a shockwave anymore? Because it's all about Stomp recently. I think he has to retreat now. His heroes and units are a little too hurt, which will then give the Demon Hunter level 3. But yeah, I feel the same, man. He has to start leveling the TC. The shockwaves are gonna be a big part of his damage.
Yeah, and there was no quick expand from FoCuS. I wonder if he might stay on one base here. If that might be the plan at all, to try and fight on one base. Just creep a lot, get to 50 supply, get multiple scrolls, and then try and fight a little more than you would usually. Getting the merchants, but that's also going to give time for Colorful to get the other merchants on his side of the map. And usually Tinker is going to be the third hero. There it is, with Pocket Factory, which was pretty massively nerfed. That Pocket Factory dies very quickly, but it's kind of there for that, for a little bit of extra tanking and also damage with those little summons.
Yeah, back in the day, you tried to create chokes with the Pocket Factory because it was so tanky. Now it's just gonna get focused, so I think he's gonna place them pretty defensively and use the Clockworks for the guaranteed damage and the Tinker for blocking, as you said. Pretty dangerous situation for FoCuS here. The units are kinda okay. Oh, goes for the Berserker here. There it is. Shockwave number 1. Blade Master, Info Potion, last second. Goes for the Berserker, takes it out. The Pocket Factory indeed very defensively. That could be a sweet timing for FoCuS as Cyclone isn't ready, but it is now, and that switches the entire matchup on its head.
Yeah, he's trying to kind of do the same thing as we see from Blade Master, Shadowhunter, and Shamans. Against the Keeper play, you attack, and then when you start to run out of mana, you pull back home, use Clarities, use Salves, heal back up, and then go and re-engage. But I don't think this did a lot here in terms of how many units he was able to kill. It did force a lot of mana to be used, I guess, technically, but Demon Hunter is still very healthy. He's got Orb. And that Torrent Chieftain is very far away from level 3. It's only 2.5 now, so... Whereas the Demon is almost 3. That's going to be a big problem if he gets that here very soon. Colorful. Probably sensing that the TC is stuck on level 2, is pushing out now.
Yeah, that's, I think, the best he can do. TC also super low on mana. There's no reinforced defenses, which was one of the big reasons why this wasn't played anymore. Because talents don't do much damage to buildings. But yeah, the problem for FoCuS now is, like, the Blade Master's gonna be up in the air all the time when he's not invulned up. The Raiders have to connect perfectly to do the necessary damage, and the TC needs level 2 Shockwave and mana. The Vamp Aura, by the way, you might think, oh, it's just talents to range army, it's not that big of a deal, but for the heroes, it's so much regen.
Yeah, and the Greater Healing was such a good item for that as well. Like, you don't need extra mana with this, you just need heroes that can tank a whole bunch for the talents to do the work. 2 Raiders are going skydiving, as is the Blade Master right now. He's going to use Disenchant, but not much mana to work with on the Spirit Walkers. I think there's only one single Disenchant left, and they're being targeted right now. FoCuS. He's trying to go for the hero.
Okay, there's a big healing. Maybe he didn't check the inventory here. Use the heal scroll, use the invul already. There's more Cyclone coming. TC is safe. How about the Beastmaster? FoCuS is about to drop quite a bit of units, but what about the heroes here? Beastmaster trying to get him out, but he's still stuck in the surround. The Talons can Cyclone all he wants, and so he dies. But man, on this retreat, there might be a lot of follow-up kills. Oh, can he go for a scroll? I think so. Cyclone the Blade Master. He has no mana.
FoCuS, he's trying to buy something. I'm not sure what. The scroll is 5 seconds away from being available. And every time that he moves back in to try and help out the Blade Master, there's too much FoCuS forced to tap out. Colorful with a throwback build here, and the Talons gets the first map win.
I didn't
Last
think...
Refuge Special, the map where the Talons are really good. We haven't seen it in a while, but it's always a possibility. Colorful especially showed a lot in the past. I think FoCuS played really well against it. Killing that Ancient of War early on was a big deal. The reason why LR is good for Nidal for Talons is because you can creep reliably even when you rush tier 3. I think FoCuS did exactly right when he was aggressively playing the way he did. But then fighting at 50 I think was a little too early. I think he should have fallen back, crept up more, a little bit more, get 60 supply, and then that fight can look different. But I think for large parts he did play that correctly. But this is probably going to be a one-off only, these Talons.
Well, we'll see about that. FoCuS here. That wasn't the greatest start for him. We're 2 maps away from Night of Mirror final. Can Colorful go all the way? We go into a tiny bit of a break, and then we're back with semifinal number 2. Back at the DreamHack Summer Open, where Colorful takes the lead, but that is not an unfamiliar situation for FoCuS. He was down a map against Fly and took the series. He was down a map against Soin and took the series. So is it time for another reverse sweep here?
Quite possibly. Yesterday we had that quite a bit. FoCuS, he seemed like he was ready against Talons. Of course, he played against it years and years, but Todd is absolutely right. If you don't face it so much regularly anymore, you do become a little bit rusty. I think his early game was really good, but then fighting at 50, probably a little too eager. Also, that Pocket Factory never was targeted with walkers, which is usually what should be happening. But Colorful played it well. He is really good with Talons. Can he play it on a different map, though? Autumn Leaves is a way different story. It's going to be much harder to creep in the mid-game, so a departure from that back to Keeper seems more likely.
Okay, we'll see about that. Maybe he has another surprise up his sleeve. This was FoCuS's map, the last one, Last Refuge. Colorful conquered that. Autumn Leaves is the first Night Elf pick now. And I wonder how good his creep route is, how well this execution is going to be, and if this is indeed a Keeper. As we load into map number 2. That is, of course, a curveball. FoCuS shouldn't be a stranger to Colorful's talent style. A lot of people know about this by now. But yeah, now it's a little bit of a gamble. What will Colorful play on the new maps? We'll find out. And arrived we have Colorful in the blue bottom left hand side with the 1-0 lead, going for the normal creep camp here, indicating a Keeper, and FoCuS on the other side, upper right in the orcish red. Is his gonna be a Blade Master once again? Very, very likely.
Yeah, it should be, but the question is for Colorful. You know, when you do the vetoes, you have 5 maps and you make up your plan in your mind. You know, what am I gonna do on each map? I think even if Colorful planned to do a Keeper on this map, for sure, after game 1, he have to ask himself if maybe going for a Demon would be viable, because that was a pretty easy game. But no, on Autumn Leaves, he's going to go back to standard meta. And the same thing for FoCuS now. He has to wonder, like, you know, is there a chance this guy goes for Demon again, or does he go back to standard meta, against which I'm more comfortable? But, you know, if you try and counter something that is not there, it's always going to be a problem. So he's just going to go for a safe scout to know exactly what hero it is, so he can start preparing to head into this game with a good game plan.
Yeah, and this is the normal meta. This is the normal hero choice. And FoCuS probably a lot more comfortable with that. He looked really, really good. Yesterday in the post-game interview basically said, I'm gonna cast so much Lightning Shield and I make it hard for the Night Elf to micro and just pray to God for some good items. So I hope he did his Sunday prayers well today.
Yeah, the best was when I asked Colorful to go into details about strategy and stuff, and he's like, oh yeah, you just need good micro.
Yeah.
Thanks. Sounds easy enough.
I've been there, man. I asked him why he won that game, and his response was, it's called micro, bro. Okay, dude. Okay.
Why don't you try and get some?
Hunter's transition is coming. At the moment, still blocked. So he goes into Hunts after only 1 Archer. FoCuS on the other side, Blade Master, a little bit of creeping there as well. Gloves of Haze grinding for some items. A fairly tame opening so far.
Except for that peon. That guy got right in the thick of things. Just moved in there, started slamming this Archer on its head. And now moved a little bit back out. I mean, he's probably fully anticipating he'll get targeted in a second and probably go down. But it's just about being out there for long enough to know whether there is a quick tree or not. And Master about to catch a Wisp. Detonate will be on time. And yeah, finding gauntlets, you know, you're just really hoping you find pure damage at this stage. He moves with the Merchant immediately when there's Nightfall to grab a Circlet, and that peon will be going down on the other side.
Yeah, circlet's definitely trendy. We've seen them in Night of Mirrors, of course, on almost every Blade Master. It's a fashionable item at the moment. Let's see if the Keeper goes for one himself, but no, it's just the dust to reveal the Blade Master down the road. And it's a
I'm very impressed.
Yeah?
That build, I'm very impressed by that build of Night Elves. You know, triple Moonwell, really, really safe. You get the Hunter Soul. And then you tech. So the tech is not super fast, but it doesn't have to be. It's just about being safe against any kind of rush that could head your way.
Yeah, FoCuS, of course, with a huge tech lead. And we don't see an expansion yet. It feels like a style choice, what you prefer, like a fast tech or fast expo. When do you plant your second engine of war? When do you go for the second hero? These are all choices you can do as a Night Elf to put some variance in your game.
Then Master looking for the steal here. If there were to be a map where maybe you could try one base and then just massing, maybe this be the one.
A little bit of an AP push or AP supported push.
I think no, just mass hunt archer, but on one base instead. So you just get more units, and then you try and fight earlier.
All right, he's definitely
I see Wisp moving out.
He's definitely preventing level 3 with that. Like, this is usually a super easy camp to take, and it should be super fast, but FoCuS bought a lot of time here. It's not a super flashy play. He's not stealing experience. He's not stealing items or kill units or something, but this is slowing down Colorful by quite a bit.
Colorful stayed so patient against the Blade, by the way. It's so easy to say, all right, I'm just gonna target down the creep and pray that the Blade somehow misses. It's FoCuS. He's not gonna miss that last hit. So he waited until the last Windwalker was used, and he was like, okay, well, he can come and steal the creep maybe, but then he would just die to entangle and surround. The Keeper trying to threaten a steal, doesn't quite get it, but he's going for the Blade. Is there an entangle? No, not quite. He's gonna go for a Grunt instead, and that Keeper is getting dangerously close to level 3 here.
Oh boy.
And he gets it. Oh my god, this is a disaster for FoCuS.
Okay.
This could be 2-0 right here.
This is, yeah, too much. I mean, we've seen games where 4 grunts fell in the early game and still the Orc turned it around. But this is not good. This is absolutely not good. Slows down your Shadow Hunter creeping, makes the army weaker, forces more resources that you would like to put into, I don't know, scrolls, tech, units, whatever. And Colorful just puts an expansion down at 50%. Tier 2 is done. He's going for the Alchemist. He seems super safe and super stable.
He was gonna go for the intercept on the Blade, and he was like, wait a second. He probably has Shadow creeping on the other side, so now he's looking for the Shadow or Grunt. That Shadow Hunter is so low, and he has Serpent Words first. Oh my god, if he intercepts and entangles it.
Oh.
But Blade might be the one he's gonna run into first.
Is there still reveal? Yes, there is.
The Shadow? The Shadow? Oh my god.
Oh, potion, okay. Willing to heal him up, but can he save himself into the safety of the base? No, not really. The Shaman a little too late. Blade Master's trying to get the counter focus, but TP out. And my lordy, Colorful so far putting up a clinic here, and FoCuS in a world of trouble.
Yeah, even the Huntress lived. He has enough Moonwells here with 3 full of juice to perfectly heal up. There's already going to be 1-1 upgrades. And when you lose the Shadow this early, I mean, you know, usually getting the Shadow level 3 is key, but he's not even going to be level 2 here before Colorful moves back out and perhaps tries to pressure more. But no, he's going to go for a bit of creeping instead here. Wants to make sure he gets heal spray before he fights again. And second Ascent of War is on the way as well for Colorful.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, Colorful isn't even fully charged up yet. He's just at 40 supply. He invested into that expansion, but it hasn't paid off at all. So 1-1 units here, no heal spray yet or anything. Oh, it could be a big steal. Doesn't get it level 2.
He hasn't gone full Super Saiyan just yet.
Not yet.
He needs a pep talk from Coach Remo for that.
I mean, maybe the Mana Stone helps a little. That's a very good item for him. Just spam these entangles, spam the Treants. And the Shadow Hunter needs power creeping right now, but he's not even creeping solo because he needs the damage because so many grunts are dead.
Great surrounds with a Serpent Ward. Picks up Scourgebone Chimes here. But there's so much Night Elf headed his way. Blade Master in a bit of trouble. Is going to Windwalk out of there. Shadow Hunter still not level 2. And that's going to be the rest of the camp going to Colorful here. Looking incredible right now with his 1-1 upgrades. With the expansion fully saturated.
Yeah, FoCuS needs experience, but the XP charge is just going one direction, and that is into Colorful. What can he possibly do? Like, he needs to evasion creep a little bit. He's currently supply stuck at 40 as well, and only now the burrow is coming up. Maybe he can queue the upgrade. Blast it. Oh, goes to him. Okay. That would have been an absolute disaster if Colorful steals that one as well.
I'm a bit surprised he didn't send in the whole army here to really try and deny that fully, but yeah. Shadowhunter finally getting level 2 is nice, but he's so far away from level 3. He's level 2.0, so he's missing quite a bit of experience. And I can see Colorful not doing anything here. He's like, surely he's getting a bunch of scrolls. So he got 1 healing scroll, he has 1 invuln per hero, and he got a town portal as well for the exit strategy, if need be.
Here we go. I mean, Colorful would be fine if it's just 2 base, 1 base, right? So, oh my god, oh my god. The Shaman are just disappearing.
Yeah, and they don't have much mana as well to start with. Trance will come into play. There's going to be Entangle. Keeper still walking with a ton of mana. He's level 4 now, so that's Trance level 2. Entangle level 2 as well. FoCuS forced to run away. He has no expansion on the way. Whereas the Night Elf expansion has been running this whole time.
Yeah, that's it. Like, that's the problem. That's another problem for FoCuS. He needs to catch up in bases. Usually this would be the time. If the Shadow is 3, then expand, but he doesn't even get the first objective. And this is all Colorful here.
See, Deadmaster Windwalks out of there. He's really trying to push this attack back here to have a chance in this game still. FoCuS, only 1 Serpent Ward, but it's too far away from the fight, not even really hitting right now. Healing Spray level 2 being used on those hunts. There's still the 1 healing scroll. That value is going to be insane here for Colorful.
It is level 4 and 3 versus level 2 and 2. This is ridiculous. This is game. This is Colorful with the cleanest 2-0.
Yeah, that wasn't even close. Colorful completely destroying that game. Autumn Leaves continues to look very hard for Orc. The Keeper just always gets his level 3. You have a tough time following up. And then the Shadowhunter can barely creep anywhere. I also think that early game, though, wasn't the greatest by FoCuS. I think he was trying to prioritize getting items way too much. He tried to steal the natural item away from his opponent's gold mine. But Colorful was ready for that. Colorful was ready for everything. And FoCuS is gonna have to step it up here to keep up to par.
Yeah, Autumn Leaves, not the greatest map for FoCuS in this tournament. He needs a reverse sweep, but we've seen that this is possible. Moon did it yesterday against Lin, for example, and FoCuS is really good at comebacks. Remember, there was this one day where he turned 2 best-of-5 series around. He needs a little bit of help, maybe another prayer to help him out there. We go into map 3 after a little break. We're back at DreamHack, and prior to the series, I asked, will Colorful be in shape today? Will he crumble under the pressure of the semifinal? And the answer is absolutely no. Like, he's lava hot. He's so ready. He's demolishing FoCuS so far.
Yeah, first two maps looked all colorful, but we have seen reverse sweeps before. This is where the journey must start now for FoCuS, and I think this is his best chance yet on Concealed Hill. That's going to be his map choice, which is a little unusual, I guess. A lot of Night Elves pick this map as well, but if you have Autumn Leaves to pick, you want to pick Autumn Leaves. That map is looking damn good for Night Elf right now. And, you know, first game, Talons. Second map, Autumn Leaves, where he wasn't ready so much for the early game to keep up with the Keeper. Now, Concealed Hill. This is familiar ground. This is where FoCuS knows what he has to do. He's been playing this one for years. This early game will be better. It has to be better for FoCuS to start a comeback here, potentially.
Yeah, absolutely. Concealed Hill, the Orc home turf, what Northern Isles is to the Undead. Concealed Hill is usually for the Orcs. But yeah, Colorful with a lot of momentum in the LP Club Derby, and we load into map number 3. It is 3 match points in a row for Colorful. He's on a highway into his first DreamHack Grand Final, and I wonder if there's a roadblock for him, or if he just goes all the way with a clean 3 and 0. Concealed will tell us. Here we are. FoCuS against the ropes, back against the wall. And Colorful with one of the best series of his life, probably. He's starting in the yellow in the upper right. FoCuS bottom left once again in the red.
Yeah, let's see if we see more of the same. Definitely feels like Colorful right now is the one riding all the momentum in the world. He's going to have 3 match points in a row. And it's really for FoCuS to kind of use that as motivation to try and somehow find a way to do better, because as much as in game 1, you know, he almost has like, you know, a bit of an excuse, so to speak, in that we don't see talents being used very often anymore. In game 2, it was just standard meta, and he just couldn't really get anything going, got overeager with the blades. Colorful stayed patient, set up the expo, and then that perfect attack, which FoCuS could have easily seen coming if he just put like a peon in center of the map, for example, you know, just in case to see if the Night Elf was going to head his way.
Yeah, pretty clean execution on map 2 indeed, not any curveballs here. And it's quite interesting how easy this seems for Colorful when we look back a week. The only series that Colorful lost was against an Orc, that was against Lyn in the group stage, and that was very, very different from this series right here. But that also shows us that he can be vulnerable against Orc if the Orc brings the A game, and this is what FoCuS has to do right here, right now.
Yeah, we've seen Orc look really, really good in some of these games, in some of Lyn's games, you know, like the 2 maps that he won against Moon, for example. Just really flawless execution. You go for Grunt, Shaman, set up the expo, get some armor upgrades, and then just take good fights. It can be about items as well, like that can help out, but you can't obviously rely entirely on that. Gets a circlet. So did Colorful.
Pretty good start. FoCuS also killing a Wisp here. That must be a feel-good moment after these first 2 maps, that something is going his way. Some sweet 25 extra experience and shop creep. This has to be expected against the Blade Master at this point. Moving out with the Grunt, putting him a little bit in danger in case there's a roaming Keeper, but Colorful plays it safe, goes for his level 2 first. And with that, FoCuS creeps this camp and gets a replenishment potion, but only goes for the item.
I gotta say, it's very refreshing to see that we get one of the newer generation players playing as well as Colorful is now. Usually WarCraft 3 is a game that's dominated by the very old school, the experienced players that have been around for a long time, you know, 2 decades sometimes, for players like Moon. And I was just looking at these guys' first recorded results. For FoCuS, that was in 2005, where he started, you know, going deep in tournaments and getting big results. And then 2006, getting even a little bit better. 8 years later, is when Colorful started showing up in these tournaments and also posting results. So 8 years difference is when they started playing this game competitively. But look at it now. Colorful, it does feel like in this matchup so far, he's been the better player quite easily here now, leading up 2-0.
Yeah, I would agree. And especially like 8 years for competitive FoCuS. FoCuS played everything. I think he played every single Zotac Cup. He played every single Jera Cup when it was allowed. This guy is such a grinder, so I don't want to know how many games this guy did in the 4 years. But yeah, Colorful. He had his standout performances and like World Cyber Arena qualifiers, and especially the one next tournament where China was facing Korea, and he was saving China when nobody really expected that. But yeah, solo performances, this is by far his best, I think.
Wouldn't that be crazy? Like for Elf, for the longest time, it's not even been a discussion. You know, it's Moon and Lolite on top. Sometimes they've kind of traded that first place, and it's been unclear who's the best, at least, you know, in which matchup, like against Human. One tournament, Lolite would deliver, and then it was Moon. But Colorful hasn't really been in that discussion. Here, if he wins that whole tournament, he has to be in the discussion. Like, I guess he would have to be the best Night Elf player in the world right now. And what a performance that would be. It just looks so damn good. And he's won the last 2 matches that he played against Smooth as well. So would he be a favorite in the grand finals? Obviously, like, it's very easy to crash and burn as well when you reach this stage. You know, like, you can put so much pressure on yourself. It's like, oh my god, this is it. Like, I'm actually winning this tournament. And then you start playing bad, especially against a legend like Moon, who you know in the grand finals is going to be consistent and playing well.
Oh, absolutely. He has all the experience in the world. But yeah, you're totally right. Like, before you mentioned Colorful in that discussion, you would rather think about Foggy as like top 2 Night Elf in the world sometimes. But Colorful is making a very, very strong case for him. Not only today, but in the past 3 to 4 weeks. And peaking at the right point, I guess. Expo's coming up. Tier 2 is almost done. And FoCuS, how far is he? Very early beastery with the arrival of Tier 2. And Shadowhunter wants to creep, but the Keeper is again level 3. That was close.
Yeah, FoCuS is obviously still in this series. He needs to get some things going his way here. One Grunt getting caught is definitely not very good here pre-Shamans. And that first Shaman only now started. Oh my god, if he loses 2 Grunts, this is quite disastrous. Alchemist is there. There's going to be a Seed Bomb available as well.
Oh.
And he has Dust, the Blade Master.
Oh,
He's going to
no.
use the Dust. He goes for the Entangled FoCuS. What is going on?
I guess we're gonna have our grand final a little sooner than we expected. 1 Grunt down, went to the creeps. The little birds try to pick this Blade Master apart. 30 HP, Acid Bomb still ticking, can't reach. FoCuS is saving his first hero and the series for now.
We haven't had a single 3-0 in this playoff so far. It's been 3-1 4 times and 3-2 as well. But Colorful, after this starts, is just looking so incredibly good. He understands when to play aggressive, when to sit back and creep. When Alchemist comes out, you have access to Acid Bomb. I think that really emphasizes this option to try and go more for the aggression. FoCuS is just chasing for one single archer, but he's taking so much damage right now. Shadowhunter is going to be in danger. He has only 1 healing wave left.
Exactly, and he has healing wave. Like, I think we have to mention this. Blade Master again, he's saving him so many times, but that means, of course, no Serpent Wards available, and that is usually why you go for this Shadowhunter. He's making up for the piercing damage with the Wyvern, but such a fragile unit. Both heroes of Colorful can attack it. Archer transition is super easy to do. And this Blade Master, man, he's living on a prayer. He needs excellent control. Acid Bomb ticks down, and that's the first hero gone.
Oh, and FoCuS, 2 Wind Riders here. That's a big commitment to try and fight these hunts a little better. But now that this has been spotted, it's very easy for Colorful to just go into a lot of archers. We see improved bows already on the way. Remember that the Alchemist can target air. He can Acid Bomb those Wind Riders, and you know their nickname, right? Flying XP Tomes. Like, that would be a big trouble.
Second Engine of War is coming as well for the mass production. Tree has, of course, Nature's Blessing. It's gonna be uprooting soon. The Alchemist is heavily out-leveling this Shadowhunter, who can just go for the green spots, and he's not even safe there. Keeper, just waiting in the wings.
When you can't even creep the small turtle camp, you know there's something going wrong in the game.
Oh, yeah. I mean, what can he do? He has a couple of Shaman, he has no Serpent Wards. Well, you can creep pretty fast with Wyvern.
Yeah, Wind Rider, like sometimes, you know, you open with one to try and make the opponent a little bit paranoid, even though like here, obviously, it's not like we're gonna have a Ancient of Wind made or anything, or an overreaction from the elf. It can accelerate your creeping speed, but 2 feels like a big commitment for a unit which, in fights, is never supposed to be very good. So I'm a little bit surprised to see this here. We didn't really talk about this because I thought there was almost no chance for it to happen, but FoCuS maybe he's crumbling a little bit under the pressure here, being down 0-2. He's feeling the hits, and perhaps he's not playing as well as he should have been here. Or this being a semifinals.
And Tangle gets a Shaman that was almost full mana. Oh man, this Overseer puts a lot of damage onto this unit. Ring of Regen for the Blade, that's kinda sweet, but the Alchemist is level 3. And again, this is such a big XP difference. Keeper 3, Alchemist 3, and we don't have a single level 3 on the Orc side.
Ooh, the Keeper might be forced to use Invuln here. Still in stand for a bit. He's really waiting for that. I guess he has Healing Spray level 2, actually. I mean, is Colorful even going to lose a unit with this?
We are
that's a question we should ask ourselves.
Yeah, I mean, he lost 1, right? Because FoCuS was chasing with his entire army for it when he lost the Blade Master. This is so much sustain with Colorful getting the items on top. This is again, like, there is no chance at all for a counter expansion.
Yeah, FoCuS right now knows that there is expansion running on the other side. I think maybe he should creep this Merchant here with just the Shadow real quick, pull back the Blade Master. But he's not doing that. Probably feels like he doesn't have enough time. But yeah, right now he knows there is expansion, so he's feeling the pressure. He knows that he has to fight soon. There's no 2 ways around it. He can't just sit back and, you know, try and creep and play passive. He either has to start hit and running or fight this army down there and then force the Night Elf back and then expand.
Not an easy task. This seems like a mission impossible to just claim 1 map. He's trying with the Ogre pull. This army is so unusual for this matchup. 2 Raiders, 2 Wyvern, 1 Kodo, only 2 Shaman. I mean, Colorful can still dominate with Entangle and Treants, and yeah, let's just raid this base.
Yeah, there's no fortified here. You're not really supposed to get fortified, so it's not even a mistake, because you're supposed to get upgrades instead. You're supposed to keep tabs on the Night Elf and be there when he attacks you, but this game has just been a whole disaster here for FoCuS. That's why he wasn't in position here to defend immediately. And now, he's supply blocked at 47 out of 41.
Yeah, not a feel-good moment, man, I can tell you. Evil Potion is on the Blade Master, so unlikely to die. I think the damage has been done, and the answer is yes. Colorful is losing a unit, but he's taking a Wyvern with him, so you trade a hunt against the Wyvern any day of the week. Especially on Championship Sunday.
Yeah, I just don't see how FoCuS ever wins this year. Like, you would have to use some crazy hit and run, and Colorful would have to start making some big mistakes as well. It's just going to be so incredibly hard because there is a lot of archers and there's not nearly enough grunts to really be able to do well against them. Like, Kodo is nice to have in there, but Wind Rider can get targeted easily. Raiders also die very fast against this type of army here with hunts and archers.
Yeah, the focus fire is just out of this world. I don't want to say it's impossible, because yesterday we've seen 23 supply Orc winning a mirror match. This told me that absolutely everything is possible in the WarCraft scene. Lionhorn helps as well. So the items are with him at the moment. But Colorful is just sitting on his expansion and hatching it, going... His tier 3 is finished!
Yeah. We can get Orb Marksmanship as well. Gonna be insane with this many archers with two upgrades already. Oh my god, he didn't miss a bit. But yeah, Blendmaster picked up a Helm of Valor in center, and then there was Lionhorn picked up as well for FoCuS. He needs like a picture-perfect fight where he escapes with everything in the red and he can go to the fountain and heal, but obviously Colorful is gonna start sieging that expansion very quickly, and there's not even a town portal for FoCuS. FoCuS is just hoping that Colorful, you know, is sitting on his side of the map, you know, maybe idle for a little bit, and perhaps he can start hit and running. I think doing the fountain, he considered it for a second, but then he's like, no, it would give him time to attack my expo. But guess what? He's still about to attack it, and he's probably gonna town portal and wreck you anyway.
That is indeed likely. He's gonna supply block him. Again, the question is when will he portal? Probably after the burrow. There's another kill here on the peon. And yeah, that must be the way home for FoCuS. But oh my, Colorful just jumping right on top of him. And Tangle gets another grunt. He's running into his demise. Lightning shield, okay, but the Alchemist just moves to the side. No problem. Colorful is at 70 supply tier 3 2-2 upgrades.
That was a 4K Zeus down portal, by the way. Like,
just
he's saying, I don't care what army you have, I just TP on top of it. It's totally fine.
Shout out to the old legend. FoCuS, you need to smash this fight. Lightning shields all over the place, Raider connections, but the FoCuS fire is really good. First on the Blade, now on the Raiders, and yeah, if Hunts are dying, that's what they're made for, basically. They're the meat shield in this army, just buy space for the archers.
You see those crits? He already town portal, so there is no TP, but there is Invuln on the Keeper, healing spray level 2, helping out a ton. Blade Master, the Invuln ran out, he's already used that. There is healing wave only level 1 because he went Serpent Wards level 2.
Yeah.
And Blade will come back in there with a scroll. He needs to start critting away. He needs the best crits he's ever got here for him to have a chance to hold.
Oh boy, he can't crit when he's dead. Gotta be careful with that big Kodo snipe. Gets entangled, but that is just game. And the first DreamHack Grand Final for Colorful.